Scorpio, this is your February 2022 soul story. This month you have the opportunity to elevate your thinking and really channel some of your experiences into some extraordinary growth. This is Romy. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to give you some key astrological dates and intuitive messages with the cards to help you navigate your way through this short month but very powerful time of shift and change. So we're opening up with the energy of the Two of Swords, and it does indicate to me that you are finding yourselves at a little bit of a crossroads. And I think one of the things that's going to be most apparent to you this month is all around this idea of stories, your story versus other people's stories, and either feeling the disconnect or the harmony of that. Now we're going to be opening up February with the new moon in Aquarius, and it's a very deliberate time for setting the intention and new seeds about what you want moving forward. And yet there may be on your mind something that feels a little bit conflicted. Maybe you feel like you're not sure what you do want, or you're having a clearer idea of what that is and still uncertain as to whether it's possible, or in fact how you get from where you are to where you want to be. But this is a time of really getting future focused, which means that we have to come into much deeper acceptance about what's happening around the now for us. And I think it is the release of that struggle to observe some of the things that feel like they're encroaching on you or limiting you or restricting you or penning you in, that you're really going to start to discover where the breakthrough is about to come for you. And there's treasure in this ability to almost like reinvent yourself through the course of February. It's what you do best, but I see it coming in a very powerful, but actually a deeply soulful and nourishing way. Remember, Aquarius energy is about fourth house for you. So it's that aspect of inner parenting and really taking time to reconnect into what your emotions are saying to you, how they're guiding you, the way in which they're trying to present certain information and wisdom so that you can make more informed choices that align with that sense of peace and stability for you. I have a sense that this is a month where you need to be prepared to be completely changed by the experience of something. And I think the reason that you are going to be able to welcome and embrace that change is because you're almost observing yourself more easily in the third party, kind of watching your reactions, watching others' reactions, making more sense of things. And this is a month, Scorpio, where we all get to face things in a way that we never have before. Either we've been avoidant, we've not been able or willing to. And so we're being held in this space that's much more vibrationally powerful and also soothing in a way for you in that fourth house. It's uncomfortable, but at the same time I feel very progressive. Now you've got your Four of Wands, so there's a suggestion here that there's something going on in the very root emotional foundations of yourself and your life right now. On a more practical matter, you may find shifts and changes coming in connected to property or to places that you work. What you're ultimately seeking is how to find that midpoint, and sometimes, because we're not just here for the good vibes only, we're here to squeeze every drop from the contrast that we go through in our physical human experience and the soul contract that we've signed up to. So sometimes the more dramatic that we create these stories in our life, the more easily available it is for us to then sort of find what that middle ground, that balance, that equilibrium, because how do we know what that looks like if we haven't gone to the extreme either way? So I see that you're sort of on this quest with yourself right now, and through the course of February there's so much illumination and rich treasure that's coming in that actually I think you're going to get an opportunity to really celebrate yourself and your accomplishment and find a very robust and secure way forward for you. Now that might not be what other people think is right for you, but it's not about them. It's about what you're experiencing and what matters and how you need to prioritize things for yourself as you continue to really be that inner parent and take care of your needs, wants and desires. Now on the 1st we also have the asteroid goddess Juno shifting into Aquarius, and here she's teaching us about the ways in which we can find a greater degree of personal freedom and really embrace and celebrate our individuality, you know, be fearless in that authenticity. And so whether this be personally or professionally, how we're coming to negotiate things that are of formal agreements, contracts, and those connections that are looking for a greater degree of commitment, bear in mind that that influence is going to be overarching and really kind of wanting you to make sure that you don't diminish your light, or, you know, really hide the very quirky aspects or the uniqueness that is you, because that's truly what the world needs to see. Now, Mars is in Capricorn all the way through this month of February, Scorpio, and that is going to be exceptionally helpful for you, because Mars loves to be in the earth energy of Capricorn. Here we get very deliberate and intentional, and we just simply have the capacity to get more things done and to have the stamina and endurance to make it so. Now, you have the Empress coming through, which suggests to me that you're right on the brink of something coming into a beautiful time of creation. There's this giving birth energy that's you know, coursing all around you. So anything that you're deliberately focused upon by way of improving relationships, creative projects, readdressing your money story, because remember, you know, Empress energy links into the sign of Taurus, of course ruled by Venus, and now we're direct in Venus energy. The rebirth that you've experienced has set out a brand new trajectory for you. How are you going to embody that wisdom? How are you going to look back and address, what have I learned these last few weeks about myself in relation to money, in relation to love, in relation to the way I value myself, and the actions that I take to support that? There will have been some difficult, intense experiences in your closest relationships and in the self-recrimination that probably was flagged up quite intensely. Now, even though we're still in the shadow of Venus through this month, you still have an opportunity to start to find a greater degree of balance, but there is an important choice that needs to be made here. You also have the mother archetypal energy. We've talked about this need for inner parenting, but it may also be that there's discussions, or there are situations that are arising that need to be discussed and thought through in order to bring a more firm foundation in place with either a wife, a mother, prominent female energy in your life. I have a sense of some energy that feels quite abrupt, quite sudden, but really there's something about the requirement of things needing to come to light. In February, you know, we're also working and celebrating the Chinese New Year, and we have the Blackwater Tiger. There's a braveness and a confidence here that says, let's face things. Let's lean all the way in, and let's allow some of this unpredictable energy that's around us to serve us and provide that sense of a pattern interruption, so that the growth that we're ready for can really propel us forward. Now, Mercury is going to shift direct in Capricorn on the 3rd of the month. Again, communication starts to open up, and the floodgates really start to deliver to you a lot of things that have felt like they've been held back from you or taken from you. There's that sense of you sort of feeling perhaps even a little bit confused about, why did it happen in this way? So answers starting to trickle in now. There's a reminder, Scorpio, that healthy relationships don't just arrive in the neat packages in our life. They're built slowly. They're built through some of the messiness, and there's a requirement both from you and others to put down the sword, put down the ego, and to really come at things from a place of deeper understanding and humility about your stories and theirs. And I think this is going to make a tremendous difference in terms of the renegotiation of something. Remember, we're all about wanting to find the commitment with Venus in Capricorn, with Mars in Capricorn energy. And for you, this is important because that theme of loyalty has been front and center stage for you. Who can I trust? How is that showing up for me? The ways in which I've been loyal to myself, you know, is this being reflected in the people who I really want to invest time and energy with? And this also matters in connection to your business, to your career, to opportunities that are coming your way. I feel like I need to say to you, you know, it's time for you to kind of take up more space. You know, that Empress energy says, you know, you've got so much to offer, and there's still something that feels hesitant, or it feels like it hasn't quite clicked into place. February is giving you answers and an opportunity to make that more tangible and real. Knight of Pentacles here. I like the deliberateness. Now, it is slow at times, and it can feel a bit laborious at times. You know, there may be aspects of your pathway through the month of February that you just want to get through. You just want to get onto the other side of it. But remember, as we come more deeply into the month and hit Pisces energy, you'll be coming into your 5th house, and there's a kind of creative explosion. And so I kind of almost feel that the Knight of Pentacles is tending to some of the environment around you to prepare it in this really fertile way. And through the nourishment of self and through some of the conversations that are going to be taking place, you're much more poised and ready to take advantage of that season and channel your energy in quite a fast and elevated way. In fact, I feel like the downloads coming in for some of you will be extraordinary, channeling in really beautiful ways, whether it be through poetry, art, creative projects that you're working on, ideas that you have to bring to the table in business, within your job environment. It's a fantastic time for you to start thinking about how you want to present yourself and really what makes you stand out from the crowd. And I think that's going to give you a deeper sense of satisfaction that actually I don't have to follow the crowd. I think that matters. Now, we have some really auspicious days to look out for. We've got the 2nd of February and the 22nd opening this beautiful portal of 222. We're working with a master energy number this year of 22, and it really is about helping you to come back into that sense of harmony and equilibrium, making choices that put you firmly in a place of connection with your own divinity, understanding the unconditional and limitless energy that's available to you. So really supporting a release and a surrender into what has felt like lack in your life, lack of love, lack of time, lack of abundance. We're working on this to improve it and to start to orientate ourselves to a different way of thinking. We also have on the 4th Mars sextile to Jupiter and the Sun conjunct with Saturn. Love this energy for you because again it allows that fixed aspect of your sign to really ground in, but also to be given some pleasant surprises about the way in which you can demonstrate and show up to educate other people by way of your experience, and also really just start to see the amplification and the expansion of things that matter. Now you have 5 of Wands energy here. There are 3 individuals showing, but they're quite separated. So sometimes, when we see that 5 of Wands and they're all kind of battling each other, there's a little bit more of a quiet, passive energy, suggesting it might be a bit more passive-aggressive in certain situations with conversations or things that might be playing out through this month. So again, what we want you to remember is that as you lean in and allow yourself to experience and feel everything in its fullness, you can still take to the higher perspective and elevate your way of thinking. This is where the true growth happens. But also, as I said about, just not always accepting that it's good vibes all the time, that the contrast here is serving you so beautifully. Now, the 5 of Wands suggests a little bit of a competitive energy. Sometimes that can really fuel us, and it can be an important part of motivating us. Some people are much more naturally inclined to be competitive, and that's an energy and an environment that serves them really well. If that is working for you, then I feel it's going to propel you forth in terms of some of your ideas to get going and actually come out of any state of inertia or apathy and really drive that Mars in Capricorn to take something forward. If it isn't, and it's an energy and emotion that you feel super uncomfortable and it feels very confrontational for you, there's a reminder here that, we can channel our best selves and only seek to come more into what our own potential looks like. And you can put those firm boundaries in place and shut out some of the white noise. So I think you have the capacity either way to actually lend that 5 of Wands energy to your advantage. Now, we also have the asteroid goddess Ceres shifting into Gemini on the 8th of the month. Ceres helps us understand the harvest and how we naturally align to the cycles of the earth. Here, we're nurturing the higher mind, and the dialogue that needs to take place is supposed to come from a much more healing perspective as we really understand people's stories. Now, of course, the lower vibrational energy of Gemini can bring us into a little bit more of a gossiping, backbiting, kind of less desirable, sneaky kind of an energy, illuminated a little bit by the 7 of Swords, sometimes deeply rooted in people's behaviours and responses to you, or even if you find yourself tapping into that, is really from a place of insecurity, feeling unaligned with what matters to you and your priority, not listening into, what the soul guidance is for where they're supposed to be, and really just wanting to kind of distract or avoid themselves by taking up these kind of conversations. But Sarah is reminding us that as we move in alignment to a greater degree with the earth, and actually I honestly feel like the elements this month can soothe you so beautifully, Scorpio. So let yourself reconnect to your own root energy by connecting into the wind, connecting to the water, to the earth, and really allowing that sacred inner flame to be reignited. Observe how these cycles in nature are teaching you what season you're in right now, and therefore how you can acclimatize and soothe your own soul to a much deeper degree, because there's something about this that's preparing you. I feel this so strongly for you this month. There's such a deep sense of preparation energy. And there's going to be a deeper sense of knowing. You're always in tune, really, on a psychically powerful link, intuitively knowing this is where I'm going to be sent. This is where the pathway is heading. Even if you feel conflicted or there's a part of you fighting with that process, I think there's still a deeper sense of knowing that to be true. Finally, we have the Pallas Athena asteroid goddess shifting into Aries on the 14th. Now, she brings wisdom, strategy, and a much deeper discernment and counsel about the right way forward for something. And in Aries energy, we can be a little bit impulsive. We're also seeking fast solutions, but there's a very pioneering, adventurous energy here. The Hierophant comes through, and it's, I suppose, a reminder to reacquaint yourself with the wisdom that has already been born through your life experience, cultivating a safe and, a rather protected space. Now, sometimes the Hierophant can be a little rigid, so Aries energy doesn't like rigidity, and so we're going to be trying to break free from anything in our world that feels that way, and Athena perhaps giving you a strategy to help you to overcome that. But also, as we reflect on what Venus and Mercury has been teaching us around relationships, you're also going to be having really important conversations around commitment taking place. Now, the Hierophant also links into the sign of Taurus, so that may also be valuable with the Empress as well. So perhaps you're dealing with a Taurus energy. But we also have Mars trining Uranus moving through Taurus on the 8th. Beautiful, again, to bring in some pleasant surprises and give you a real motivated reason to do something. It's almost like you get a bit of a green light because of a series of events that might take place in and around the 8th. Now, all of these asteroid goddess energies help us to make sense on a more deeply personal level about the way we interpret what's happening cosmically. And I do have a goddess report you can check out in the link in the description box that will tap into your own personal natal chart if that's of interest for you. So we're welcoming a full moon in Leo this month on the 16th. And here, the drama, it might bring a little bit of, I want to say, what has previously felt avoidant discussions and conversations fully into the light. In fact, be careful that this isn't just done in a very public way, so it might be that you're either a part of or certainly observing those arguments or discussions or declarations that are not just happening behind closed doors. There's something about people wanting everybody to know. And that can be cathartic, because sometimes it's just like, the cat's out the bag, Pandora's box is open. Sometimes when we find it difficult to be able to really come to those places where we're prepared and confident and courageous enough to do it, sometimes fate steps in and makes it happen. So be aware for that to be sort of going on. And if you do have anything that you're trying to keep on the down low, then I would just be mindful that this is a time where it's going to be a little bit harder to do so. Now, your Page of Wands comes in with a fire energy, and she's offering you something here. It may well be a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or someone that has that very spirited and youthful and I feel exuberant energy, and that can be really motivating for you. Also might be slightly annoying. I just want to say that. Maybe just someone really wants to work with you or wants to be in your friendship group, or is really keen to want to date you, and I just think there's slightly a kind of, oh my goodness, I really don't have time for this, or I'm really not on the same vibrational energy as you right now. However, I think that there's something valuable that you can take from the experience, because it might get you thinking about actually what would make you feel better, what does bring out the best in you. And this whole idea of what brings out the best in me is also going to be coming up in much more of a greater degree as we come into the sun in Pisces from the 18th onwards. Now, fifth house, remember, illuminates children, creativity, romance. And so the universe here is saying, come on, let's get back to pleasure. Let's get back to the things that make you feel connected to who you truly are. Maybe even a returning to something that you just haven't had the time or the energy or the inclination to really bring into your world. And so with all of the illumination of what retrograde energies taught you, I think there's something that comes in toward the end of the month that you're in a non-negotiable energy now. You're like, okay, this has to be something I do regularly. This has to be a part of it. Now, I also think that we have a little bit more of a non-confrontational energy of someone stepping forth. So if there has been a little bit more challenge, if there has been more arguments that have ensued in different areas of your life, or just tension that's felt like it's simmering under the surface, the later we go into the month and the more we go deeply into Pisces energy, I feel that there's a lighter vibe that comes in for Scorpio, and that helps you to lean in further. Now, there's something about the energy of this month that is reminding us that we have to go little by little, right? And it's a little goes a long way, okay? So we don't have to sort of strive to kind of take everything on. In fact, this is not a month where I'm like looking at you sort of jam-packing full your diary. I just feel like be careful and be selective in the things that you want to prioritize. Your triggers are going to be your greatest teachers this month, and you know what, you're more than you've ever been. So it's really beholding on you, Scorpio, to acknowledge this in all of the ways that only you personally can validate for yourself, and then start to make choices and decisions that are based on that. Now, yes, you may be coexisting in this very conflicted path, you know, because that Libran energy of the Two of Swords suggests that even all the way through the month, you feel conflicted or unsure about something, hesitant even to maybe jump all in, just in case, either because of the ripple effect or just feeling like you don't want to let go of the sight of the shore because maybe that's something that's felt comfortable or is just allowing you to give some sense of normality to your situation or foundational, rootedness, I think. But I do have a sense that the universe is going to be pushing you because there is this preparation energy. And the more you allow yourself to kind of fully take up space through the course of this month in everything that is going on, like don't shrink, don't be the shrinking violet. It feels like the more you talk, and even if you're not sure, just still allowing yourself to share an opinion and to express yourself is really important. Now, right after that full moon in Leo, we've got on the 17th, Jupiter sextile to Uranus. I love this particular energetic frequency for you. It's about the personal freedom that you're wanting to feel, a real sense of rich expansion in a certain area in your life. And it's almost like you get locked into the vibe of it. So even if it hasn't sort of fully manifested for you, there's something that's taking place on that 17th or in and around those days for you where you're like, oh, right, this is it. Like this is what I feel. This is how I want to feel. This is what I know it's going to feel like when I get to where I'm going. So it's like the universe giving you a download of an energetic imprint. You can lock it into your physical body and you can use it to keep you strong, to keep you tapped into that inner resiliency and resolve so that you are able, no matter what you are experiencing or facing right now, however arduous it is, to keep going and to keep very clear about what matters, what brings out the best in me, what is my relationship to pleasure and desire, who are the people I want to have around my world, how am I allowing the elements and the cycles of the earth to really soothe me? There is treasure in your rebirth here. Now, we also have the Leonian energy here with strength. And again, as somebody offers you something, like I said, you are sort of turning your back, although your lion is still turned towards them a little bit. So I think your heart is still with them, but for whatever reason, you may feel like you're having to turn away kind of physically. But there is still a bond and a connection that's going on here. And again, the Hierophant suggests to me that this whole idea almost like having to break down convention, because do you know, an Aquarius is really wanting us to be non-conventional. And so in the traditions that have always existed, perhaps in a family dynamic, in a certain connection, a marriage, a professional situation and setup, there's something that's being challenged here. Now, you may feel the challenge internally, but I also think it's going to be expressed and mirrored back to you. There are solutions here. There are creative ways forward, but it does require you to be the observer and the witness of things, okay? And that strength is really important, especially with this Seven of Swords, because what we're looking at here is at times the capacity for you to slip into self-doubt and have a lack of trust in your belief at the signs that are showing up for you, or perhaps in the way that you've been investing your energy, your time, whatever it is that's gone on, and perhaps not delivered the results yet. Yeah, not delivered the results yet. That Empress is telling me that something is coming in, and it's very generative. There's also a generosity of spirit that beautifully emanates from her, and she's really, I want to say, your main guide through the course of this month, and I want you to lock into the energy of that. There is always enough, Scorpio. There is always enough. So you've got to get acquainted with knowing that whatever you are building, whatever you are creating, whatever you are aligning with, whatever you are asking for needs to be built from love, not fear. Needs to come from a place of certainty, needs to come from a place of not being any guilt or any tension or, fueled by a sense of frustration, but rather just a deep acceptance of the worthiness of who you are. So there's an amazing opportunity through the course of this month for Scorpios to really come into a sense of deeper peace with where you are in the journey. And in that regard, being able to parent yourself in a much more gentle way than perhaps you have of late, because I feel like some of the harshness is wanting to be stripped away. We want to just soften the edges. We want to soften the path in front of you. And that's beautiful, because I think it's going to impact directly on your ability to see the value in what you're doing and who you are, and how you want to really start to exercise that greater degree of free will in your life. There's so many new things that are starting to emerge on the path we want you to be looking out for. So your oracle card for this month is Be Ecstatic, and she's in this beautiful soulful surrender. I love this energy for you, because I think it's really helping you to open up where you have perhaps felt a little bit more closed or pinched off from your ability to say how you feel, really connecting back into the root and the sacral chakra beautifully. And again, we've got number 3 linking into that Empress energy, very creative, very collaborative, allowing you to feel part of a community again, but most importantly, reconnecting with yourself. Your astrological card this month, Scorpio, is the 10th house, structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. You've got that gorgeous owl medicine here, sacred secrets emerging for you. And of course, remember, Capricorn is the natural ruler for the 10th house. Mars in Capricorn right now, Pluto in Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn. You're really aligning with what changes you are making, what that legacy looks like for you, how you can root in and really start to find the richness of everything that you do, recognize your true talents and gifts, and get clear on what you feel your purpose is and the way in which the universe is supporting that in whatever regard it is, whether you're working or have your own business, you're retired and you're looking for new ways to spend your time or direct your energy. So that's beautiful for giving us that firmer foundation. So let's have a look at your animal totem. Okay, you have the badger spirit. Be fearless and bold. Well, we've got number 4. We're working with that 4th house energy in Aquarius. But I like this fearlessness. I think the courage is really important. And as you are that witness to yourself, being able to almost detach and observe the way that you are responding and behaving, and the growth that's taken place for you in the last 12 months has been extraordinary. I mean, you're a completely different person. Can you recognize that? The black and white is interesting, and sometimes that fixed energy of yours can get you, you know, in a state of mind that it has to be your way, and that's a very Mars and Capricorn energy too. Now that can serve you, especially if you felt very depleted or stuck. So some regards in relation to the Two of Swords, I think that's a positive, but also recognize there's going to be times where that will end up creating this Five of Wands tension, and so where do we have to soften is also being reminded, so that it's not about compromise, it's just about like expanding your awareness to be able to see all of the stories and how they're playing out, and elevate your thinking so that you can start to understand truly where the collective energy is moving, and place yourself in exactly the right position to be able to harness the unconditional loving vibration of that. So this is a general reading for the month of February, and if you would like to just think about a personal question, Scorpio, I might not have covered, I'm going to go ahead and just pull a couple of individual personal cards for that. Now you can find the link for this in the description box underneath. The extended reading, if you're new to the channel, we talk for another 20 minutes and go deeper into this reading to give you more insights and messages, make more sense of what's come through, and it's just a way to support my channel so that I can keep showing up to deliver the free content. So Eight of Swords is coming in with the Three of Cups around that Two of Swords. Four of Wands is bringing in the World. All of the decks that I use as well, by the way, are in the comment section underneath, just if you're interested. The World here, and the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Cups, okay, showing up with your water energy. You may also have an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo, but you are busy this month and you are resourceful. Remember though, maybe doing less and doing it better is the way forward. I still feel like I don't want you to kind of overcommit or cram your diary too full, because I feel like you do need some time and space to be working through some things. The Fool comes in with the Five of Wands, showing up again for you. And the Ace of Cups here, and there's that nourishment. High Priestess, I like that. Five of Cups, Six of Swords, Justice, Three of Wands, Six of Wands, Seven of Cups. Remember what I said about public announcements? Like that's going to be strong through the course of this month. Hierophant coming in with the Seven of Pentacles. Another Empress energy here. Very strong Taurus link showing up. Of course, we are working North and South Node now. North Node fully in Taurus. And you are working with that South Node, which is going to continue to challenge you to keep letting go, keep releasing. Four of Wands coming in again, and the energy of the Moon. Interesting. Okay, we've got the Devil with Strength. Ace of Wands. Okay. Five of Swords. Another Page of Wands, and oh, two wanted to come out. Let's take them. Nine of Swords and the Emperor. Okay, Scorpio, thank you so much for joining. I hope you found it resonant. Be sure to check back in through the month. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really supports the channel. Drop me a like and a comment. And I look forward to continuing this on the extended if you're joining me. You take good care.